I'm 76 years old, and I need to tell you something that took me 54 years to understand. It's one thing, just one. And when I finally understood it, I wept like a child. You see, I spent most of my life believing I was smart. I had advanced degrees. I built companies. I raised a family. I did everything society told me successful people do. But at 22, I made a choice that seemed small at the time, and I didn't realize until I was 76 that this single choice had stolen 54 years of my life. Not stolen like wasted, worse, stolen like living in a house with no windows and not knowing what sunlight looks like. I'm making this video because I'm running out of time, and there's something you need to understand before you lose your 54 years too. This isn't about regret. This is about rescue. Your rescue. Let me tell you what my life looked like from the outside, because I need you to understand something important. By the time I was 50, I had everything a person is supposed to want. I had a corner office with my name on the door. I had a house in a neighborhood where people waved at each other in the mornings. I had a wife who loved me and children who made me proud. I had colleagues who respected me and friends who invited me to their dinner parties. I had retirement accounts and vacation homes and a reputation as someone who had figured it out. And yet, every single night when I lay in bed, I felt this hollow ache in my chest that I could not explain. It was like hunger, but not for food. It was like loneliness, but I was surrounded by people. It was like grief, but nobody had died. Something was missing, and I could not name it, no matter how hard I tried. I would look at my life and think, what is wrong with you? You have everything. Why do you feel like you have nothing? Why does success feel so empty? Why does achievement feel like a costume you are wearing instead of something real? And here is the thing I did not understand until decades later. That hollow feeling started the day I was 22 years old. The day someone asked me a simple question, and I gave an answer that seemed right at the time, but was actually the worst mistake of my life. I carried that wrong answer with me for 54 years, without ever knowing it was poisoning everything I touched. But before I tell you what that question was, let me tell you about the day my body decided to teach me a lesson I should have learned half a century earlier. I was 68 years old when my heart stopped in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting at my desk reviewing quarterly reports when suddenly my chest felt like someone had wrapped a steel band around it and started squeezing. The room tilted sideways, and the last thing I remember is the sound of my coffee cup shattering on the floor. I woke up in a hospital room with fluorescent lights buzzing above me and tubes running into my arms, and my wife sitting in a plastic chair with mascara streaked down her face. And in that moment, lying there, smelling the antiseptic and hearing the beeping of machines that were keeping me alive, I had a thought that changed everything. I thought if I had died 5 minutes ago, what would I have actually lived for? And the answer terrified me, because when I searched my mind for something real, something that mattered, all I could find were numbers and titles, and things that would be forgotten before my body was even cold. I thought about all the dinners I missed because I was working late, all the school plays I watched through a phone screen because I was answering emails, all the times my wife tried to talk to me and I was somewhere else entirely, all the moments I postponed because I told myself there would be time later. I had spent my entire life saying I will be present when I finish this project. I will enjoy myself when I get that promotion. I will connect with my family when I retire. I will finally live when I have enough money saved. And lying in that hospital bed, I realized the horrifying truth. Later never comes. Later is a lie we tell ourselves so we can keep sleepwalking through our lives without feeling guilty about it. I have been telling myself later for 46 years. And now I was 68 with a broken heart, in a body that had tried to kill me. And I understood something that made me weep right there in front of the nurses. I had not been living at all. I had been rehearsing for a life I never actually showed up to perform. Now let me take you back to that moment when I was 22 years old, because this is where it all went wrong. And this is where the one thing finally makes sense. I was sitting in my professor's office during my final year of university, and he looked at me and asked a question that seemed simple at the time. He asked, "What do you want from your life?" And without hesitation, I said, "I want to be successful." He nodded like that was a good answer, and I walked out of that office believing I had just declared something noble and worthy. But I was wrong. I was so terribly wrong, and I would not understand why for another 54 years. You see, success is a destination. It is a place you are always trying to reach, which means you are never actually where you are. You are always somewhere else in your mind, always in the future, always chasing the next thing. The right answer, the answer I should have given, the answer that would have saved me 5 decades of emptiness, was this: I want to be present. I want to actually experience my life while I am living it. That is the one thing. Presence. Being fully where you are, with who you are with, doing what you are doing, without wishing you were somewhere else, or someone else, or further along. The tragedy of my life is that I was so busy building a future, I forgot to live in the present. Every dinner I missed was not a sacrifice for later. It was my actual life slipping through my fingers. Every moment I was distracted or distant or dreaming about tomorrow was a moment I will never get back. Your life is not happening later. Your life is not happening when you retire, or when you get the promotion, or when the kids move out. Your life is happening right now, this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. And if you are not here for it, then you are not living at all. You are just waiting. And waiting is not living. Waiting is just dying slowly, while pretending you have time. After I left that hospital, I made a decision that changed everything. I decided to stop planning my life and start actually showing up for it. And what happened in these last 8 years has been more meaningful than the previous 6 decades combined. I started small. I started with my morning coffee. And instead of drinking it while checking emails or thinking about my schedule, I just sat there and tasted it. Really tasted it. Felt the warmth of the cup in my hands and watched the steam rise and listened to the birds outside my window. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it was the first time in 50 years I had actually been present for something so simple. Then I started doing it with people. When my grandchildren talked to me, I put down my phone and looked into their eyes and actually heard them. When my wife told me about her day, I stopped waiting for my turn to speak and just listened. And something miraculous happened. My relationships transformed completely. My daughter told me last year that she finally feels like she knows me after 4 decades of living in the same house. My son calls me now just to talk, not because he needs something. My wife says I am a different person, and she is right, I am. Here is the paradox that still amazes me. The less I chased, the more I received. The less I worried about the future, the richer my present became. I know what you might be thinking. Easy for him to say, he is retired and has nothing but time. But presence is not about having time. Presence is about paying attention. You can be present in a 5-minute conversation or absent during a 2-week vacation. It is not about the hours you have. It is about where your mind is during those hours. I am happier now at 76, with less time ahead of me, than I ever was at 30, when I thought I had forever. Now here is what is going to happen. You are going to close this video, and within an hour, you will have forgotten almost everything I said. I know this because that is exactly what I would have done at your age. I would have nodded along and thought, yes, that is wise, and then gone right back to chasing and planning and missing my own life. But before you do that, I need you to answer one question honestly, and I mean honestly. When was the last time you were fully present? Not thinking about what you need to do tomorrow, not replaying something that happened yesterday, not scrolling through your phone while someone who loves you is trying to talk to you. When was the last time you were just there, completely and fully there for your own life? Your parents are getting older every single day, and one day, probably sooner than you think, they will be gone. Your children are growing up right now, this very moment, and you are missing it because you are somewhere else in your head. Your partner is sitting across from you, waiting, just waiting for you to actually see them. The people you love are not going to wait forever, and neither is your life. Do not wait 54 years like I did. Do not wait until your heart stops in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday to realize you have been asleep. Start today. Start right now, wherever you are. Whoever you are with, whatever you are doing, just be there for it. I am 76 years old, and if I am lucky, I have maybe 10 years left. But you have a lifetime ahead of you. Please do not waste it the way I wasted mine. Be where you are. That is the one thing. That is everything.